Yo, what is up, everybody? I wanted to come to you guys with my NXT review. So let's jump right into it. To kick off the show, we had Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher versus Marcel Bartel and Fabian Eichner for the NXT Tag Team Championships. This was a fun match, guys. This match was fun. It was entertaining. I like this match. I like that, this is what NXT is doing with their tag teams. They're letting their tag teams go out there and just wrestle, and I really like that. I like that NXT is just, letting their tag teams go out there and wrestle, man. This is what Vince McMahon needs to do. This is what Vince McMahon needs to look at for tag team wrestling. Just go out there and let your tag teams put on a good match. Let them go out there and wrestle. Let them go out there and make their money. Don't hold them back because you don't like tag team wrestling or you're not into tag team wrestling. Let the tag teams go out there and make their money. Let them wrestle. Let them put on a show let them put on a show. Let them do what they're supposed to do. And this is what I like about NXT. I like that NXT is not holding back their talent and that they're letting their tag teams go out there and actually wrestle. That's one thing I like about tag team wrestling in NXT, that they actually let their tag teams go out there and do their job and they don't hold them back. That's one thing I like about wrestling in NXT. That the wrestler that NXT tag team wrestling is the best in NXT. That's why I love NXT, because NXT has the best tag team wrestling, and that's my opinion. I think NXT is really the best in tag team wrestling. So to kick off the show, we had Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher versus Marcel Bartel versus and Fabian Eichner to kick off the show for the NXT Tag Team Championships. This was a fun match, guys. When I say fun, I mean fun. These guys went out there and absolutely had a good tag team match, man. This match was enjoyable. It was a fun match, great wrestling. This is what tag team wrestling should be. This is what tag team wrestling is all about. Letting the tag teams go out there and wrestle. Let their tag teams go out there and do what they have to do and to earn their money. And this was a fun tag team match with Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher versus Marcel Bartel and Fabian Eichner for the NXT Tag Team Championships to kick off NXT. This was a fun match. It was enjoyable. The wrestling was fun to watch. It had great storytelling. The pace was there. The pace was fun to watch. This was a really good tag team match tonight on NXT to kick off NXT. This was a fun match, enjoyable. I love seeing these two tag teams work together. All these guys can go in the ring as well. All these guys are great inside. Great. All these guys are great in the ring as well. This was a really fun tag team match tonight on NXT to kick off the show with Timothy Thatcher and Matt Riddle versus Marcel Bartel and Fabian Eichner to kick off the show on NXT tonight for the NXT Tag Team Championships. This match was absolutely fun to watch. Absolutely enjoyed it. Great tag team match tonight by both teams. Both teams went out there tonight on NXT in the first match of the night and had a very good match. And Marcel Bartel and Fabian Eichner are your new NXT Tag Team Champions. Congrats to those guys. They ended up picking up the win over Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher in the kickoff for the first match of NXT for the NXT Tag Team Championships tonight for NXT. And then we had two women that's eyeing the NXT Women's Championship, and Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai. I really like that these two women are eyeing the NXT Women's Championship. I like that Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley are giving Charlotte Flair competition for the NXT Women's Championship. That is really cool. So that's really awesome. I like that they're going to give Charlotte Flair some kind of competition for her NXT Women's Championship. That's really awesome in itself. I'm really glad to see Charlotte's going to get competition in Io Shirai and in Rhea Ripley as well. That's going to be really awesome as well. And then the best match of the night, in my opinion, the best match of the night was Tegan Nox versus Indy Hartwell. This was the best one-on-ones women's match to kick off the night. I enjoyed this women's match between Tegan Nox and Indy Hartwell. This was the best women's match, man. These two went out there and absolutely had a great match. These two absolutely stole the show last night on NXT. These two women went out and stole the show and had a great match, man. These two girls went out there and tore the house down and just had a good match, man. These two women went out there and had a very fun match. These two gel well inside the ring together. The storytelling was there as well. It was fast paced. Great wrestling. These two women absolutely know how to tell a story inside of the ring together. I wouldn't mind to see these two face off again because I think Indy Hartwell and Tegan Nox have a great story to tell, and I think if they were given the allotted time to work, I think they could put on another really good match. So I would love to see Tegan Nox and Indy Hartwell. I would love to see these two face off again. I think they could put on a really good match. But this match last night on NXT between Tegan Nox and Indy Hartwell was a really good match, man. These two women were the best match of the night last night on NXT, in my opinion. These women went out there and stole the show and had the best match of the night. These two worked really well together inside the ring as well. I really like this match between Tegan Nox and Indy Hartwell. This was a fun match, man. Very well put together. This match was fun to watch, very enjoyable, very entertaining, man. These two women are absolutely awesome in the ring, man. And they went out last night on NXT and absolutely tore the house down last night on NXT. And then we had NXT Cruiserweight Tournament match with Jake Atlas and Tony Nese. This match was alright. I mean, I thought it was okay. It didn't really pick up for me the way that I thought it would. I thought the cruiserweight tournament matches would like have a fast pace to them. I thought they would get fast. I thought the match would be fast paced. I thought the matches would really like pick up in intensity. But these matches aren't really doing much for me. But I mean, this match with Tony Nese versus Jake Atlas in the NXT Cruiserweight tournament match was really good. I thought this match was okay. It wasn't the best match by no means. It was an alright match with Jake Atlas and Tony Nese last night on NXT in the Cruiserweight tournament match. This match was alright. I kind of liked it just a little, but it wasn't the best match. It was decent for what it was. And Jake Atlas and Tony or Jake or Atlas ended up picking up the win over Tony Nese last night on NXT in the Cruiserweight tournament match. Atlas and Nese put on a really pretty decent match. It wasn't the best match. It wasn't the greatest match, but it was alright for what it was. But Atlas and Nese put on a decent match, and Atlas ended up picking up the win over Tony Nese last night in the NXT Cruiserweight tournament match. So Jake Atlas ended up advancing in the Cruiserweight tournament match last night on NXT. And then we had another Cruiserweight match, Jack Gallagher versus Isaiah Swerve Scott. This was another NXT Cruiserweight tournament match last night on NXT. This match was okay. I mean, this match was slow. It had a lot of chain wrestling, which I didn't really care for. It was pretty good to okay, but it wasn't the best. These two men, I thought this match would really pick up between Jack Gallagher and Isaiah Swerve Scott, but it had a lot of chain wrestling, a lot of ground wrestling, which I don't really care for. And Jack Gallagher versus Isaiah Swerve Scott wasn't really a good match. It was okay to decent. And Jack Gallagher ended up picking up the win over Tony Nese last night. Jack Gallagher ended up picking up the win over Isaiah Swerve Scott. I'm sorry, guys. Jack Gallagher ended up picking up the win over Isaiah Swerve Scott to advance into the Cruiserweight tournament last night on NXT. And then we had Cameron Grimes versus Finn Balor. Finn Balor ended up taking the loss to Cameron Grimes because of the interference by Damian Priest. So Damian Priest was the attacker of Finn Balor, which I don't understand really. I don't really get that. I don't understand why Damian Priest would be the attacker of Finn Balor. I don't really understand. Wouldn't it make more sense for Karrion Kross to be the attacker of Finn Balor, because Karrion Kross just made his debut along with Scarlett just last week on NXT? Would not make more sense for the new debut of Karrion Kross to attack Finn Balor than Damian Priest? I think that would make more sense, because one, you would make Karrion Kross you would make Karrion Kross look strong, and plus you would build his reputation in NXT for being a monster, and plus it would put Karrion Kross over to being a monster to build up Karrion Kross on NXT. I think that would make more sense for Karrion Kross to be the one that sneak attacked Finn Balor. I think that would make more sense instead of it being Damian Priest to be the one to end up being the sneak attacker of Finn Balor. I think that would. That's the way I see it, and that's the way I will. The angle I would go is I would make Karrion Kross out to be the attacker of Finn Balor, because Karrion Kross made his debut last week with Scarlett on NXT. So it would make more sense to build up Karrion Kross to be the attacker of Finn Balor, to build the stock of Karrion Kross, and to build up Karrion Kross to be this monster guy who just made his debut in NXT, to be the one to attack Finn Balor. That's the way I would go about it. I don't know why you would build up Damian Priest when Damian Priest doesn't need to be built up. I don't get that. You could use the build up for Karrion Kross to be the one who attacked Finn Balor, because Karrion Kross made his debut along with Scarlett last week on NXT. So you would build up Karrion Kross to be a monster guy who just made his debut on NXT, to be the one who attacked Finn Balor. That's the angle I would go at. But hey, I'm just a YouTuber. What do I know? And then we had a segment with Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley talked about how she had to beat Io Shirai to be back in contention for the NXT Women's Championship, then so be it. I liked how Rhea Ripley said, you know what, that NXT Women's Championship that Charlotte Flair is walking around with belongs to me. I'm going to get back what's rightfully mine. Rhea Ripley says that NXT Women's Championship that Charlotte Flair has belongs to me, and I'm gonna beat Charlotte Flair for the NXT Women's Championship. I really like that, straight to the point. Rhea Ripley did a awesome segment tonight on NXT. Really great segment for Rhea Ripley tonight on NXT, man. This was the best segment Rhea Ripley has ever done, man. Rhea Ripley's backstage segments are absolutely awesome, man. So really awesome segment tonight on NXT by Rhea Ripley. And then we had a segment with Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Triple H talked about how he's bringing back NXT TakeOver in Your House on June 7th on the WWE Network. I can't wait to see that. That's going to be really awesome as well. Triple H said we're going to bring back one more takeover for one more time. And this takeover is going to be called NXT TakeOver in Your House on June 7th. I can't wait to see that takeover. I'm so ready for that takeover, man. That's going to be absolutely awesome. NXT TakeOver in Your House. That's going to be absolutely awesome, man. And then we had the main event. We had a backstage brawl with Timothy Thatcher and Matt Riddle. And then we had a segment with Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. And then the main event we had Matt Riddle versus Timothy Thatcher. This main event didn't really do much for me. Too much chain wrestling. These two just chain wrestled too much. I don't like chain wrestling, man. I'm just not a fan of chain wrestling. I'm really not. This main event with Timothy Thatcher and Matt Riddle in the main event of NXT was slow. It was just too much of, chain wrestling. The chain wrestling I don't like. I don't like chain wrestling. I'm not a fan of that, man. And Matt Riddle ended up picking up the win over Timothy Thatcher in the main event of NXT. So if you guys like, and then we had Caden Carter versus Aaliyah. Caden Carter ended up picking up the win over Aaliyah due to Aaliyah showboating. So there you go. But if you guys like this NXT review, make sure you hit that thumbs up. If you guys like the channel, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And turn on that bell for all notifications. That way you guys won't miss an upload or a live stream on my YouTube channel. And I want to say welcome to everyone that's been here on my channel. I want to say welcome to the channel. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. And I want to say thank you to everybody for your continued love and support. I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. It really does mean a lot to me. I really do love you guys. I cherish you guys. You guys are awesome. And I can't wait for our channel to continue. I can't wait for our channel to continue to grow. And I just want to say thank you again for all your love and support, guys. You guys are awesome. And I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you guys are staying healthy. And remember, look after each other. Take care of each other. And we're all in this together, man. So everybody, have a great night. Thank you guys for watching this NXT review. I'm out. Peace.